Are you looking for the best way to solo the 7-star Greninja raids? This video is going to show you a really unique and interesting, kind of weird strategy that helps you solo these raids. I've had 100% success with this, soloing these by myself. I've done about 3 of these raids with this strategy and it's worked every single time. Let's talk about it. So for the Pokemon, I think you can use either of these 2 Pokemon. There are a lot of Pokemon that you can use for the Greninja raids if you know what you're doing. There's Clodsire, there's Gastrodon, even possibly Klefki, Kingambit. I've heard of a lot of different options. So, if you find something that works for you, that's great. But if you're someone who's looking for something different, here we go. So these are kind of the same deal, Vaporeon and Slowbro. They basically both know about the same moveset, so you can use whichever of these you want. I've been using Vaporeon just because it's something different, but you can basically use the same Slowbro build that Cinderace was killed by. And so the moveset is very similar. You've got your Acid Armor, or in Slowbro's case, Iron Defense, Calm Mind, then Stored Power, and then Chilling Water. You could also run Slack Off on Slowbro, but I've found Chilling Water to be the best. Honestly, to be quite honest, you don't even need a 4th move. Those first 3 moves are really all you need, but if you want to use Chilling Water, that's another good option. With Vaporeon, I also used, one time I used Haze, which will reset Greninja's evasion boosts from Double Team. So that's another option as well, but I'm just going to go with this set for now. And then I'm going to use the Covert Cloak item just because it prevents me from getting poisoned or frozen from Gunk Shot and Ice Beam respectively. Zoom Lens is another good option. When you move after your opponent, your accuracy is boosted, so that means you're more likely to hit all your moves, but I think this is just fine. So here's the strategy. It's pretty straightforward. And again, it seems a little weird. And honestly, there might be strategies that work differently than this, but basically all you need to do, and I'm going to show you my playthrough of this raid live, all you need to do is for the first, 20 or 30 seconds, just sit there. You actually don't do anything. That sounds really weird, but the thing is, this AI Greninja, or this Greninja's AI is programmed to use Double Team, then Toxic Spikes immediately. And then it's actually after a set amount of time, Greninja will reset everyone's stats. So it does it really early on in the raid. And it's not after a few turns, it's just actually after a set amount of time. So this is going to be really weird. And honestly, it's possible that you can still win this raid without just not doing anything like this. You could probably just use Chilling Water in these first few turns. But basically my point is you do not want to set up Acid Armor or Calm Mind right away because Greninja is just going to reset that pretty early on. So you really won't get much done that way. So this is going to seem really weird. Like I said, if you don't want to do it this way, because if this feels weird to you, you can actually just use Chilling Water in these first few turns. Also, if you get lucky and have 1 or 2 teammates with Intimidate, it also makes this raid a lot easier. So I got an Arcanine with Intimidate there. So Greninja's physical moves such as Gunk Shot, which is pretty much the main move it's going to be using to attack me with, is basically weakened. So basically, if you see the orange bar, the time bar, basically when it gets to around where the letter D in Unrivaled is, that's when Greninja will reset everyone's stats. And so we're not doing anything. Oh, another reason, by the way, I saw this strategy. Here it is. I saw this strategy on Reddit. Another reason why we don't do anything for the first few turns. And now we set up Acid Armor. As soon as Greninja resets everyone's stats, after that, just start setting up Acid Armors like normal. He uses Gunk Shot turn 1 and actually misses, which is hilarious. But I saw this on Reddit. So if you saw that little blue swirl there, that means one of my teammates used the Defense Cheer. And basically, I think what happens in this raid is as soon as you start clicking moves in this raid, I think one of your teammates will use that Defense Cheer. And so obviously, if you're using moves early on, and then your teammate uses the Defense Cheer early on, then when Greninja resets stats, it'll reset that Defense Cheer. It'll nullify it. So basically, you kind of wasted it if you want to look at it that way. And here, it's pretty hilarious. Sometimes Greninja will actually use Hydro Pump on my Vaporeon. So that's another good reason to use Vaporeon because it's immune to Hydro Pump and it also resists Ice Beam. Honestly, Slowbro, at least my Slowbro, because it had max defense and max special attack, I was taking some decent damage from Hydro Pump with my Slowbro, even though I resist it. So, that's why I like Vaporeon a little bit better here. But anyways, I've set up my 3 Iron Defenses. Now I'm going to set up about 4 Calm Minds. You don't really need to... Ooh, he got a crit there. He got really lucky. You don't really need to go all the way on the Calm Minds. You can if you want. Another thing, as you see here, is that Greninja sets up its shield really early on in the battle as well, for better and for worse. The bad thing about that, obviously, is it means that you can't really one-shot it like you could with the Slowbro build. The Slowbro build against Cinderace, you could basically set up all your boosts, and then once you use stored power once, you basically one-shot it. With Greninja, you can't do that because it's going to set up its shield really early, and you just cannot take out that much health that early on in the battle. I guess unless you have a team of players and maybe you're all running like Espathra with Lumina Crash maybe, but even then I still think it's going to set up the shield really early. So yeah, we're just going to set up Calm Mind here. And the funny thing is, as you saw with the AI, it's always going to default to attacking me, Vaporeon, with Gunk Shot. And then once it sees that I'm setting up my defensive stat, it's actually going to switch over to trying to hit me with special moves, which is why it went for the Hydro Pump there. So now I'm just going to go ahead and start clicking Stored Power. Basically, at this point, for the rest of the battle, we click Stored Power. Of course, Greninja did boost its evasion with Double Team right away. Ooh, we got another crit. Okay, I'm going to actually have to use a Heal Cheer right here. I know if he gets lucky and gets another crit, he could actually kill me. So I just really need to make sure that I'm at decent health. This is a decent reason why you might use Slowbro, is because Slowbro has Slack Off, so it can kind of consistently recover its own health whenever it needs to. But typically the Night Slash is doing just about nothing to me. So as long as he doesn't get a crit, we should be fine. Oops. Like I said, just click Stored Power for the rest of the battle. Once you do break that shield, it's just about game over. Like once you break the shield, it'll go down in like 2 stored powers. And like I said, I've just been not setting up all the Calm Minds. You could set up 6 Calm Minds, which is the maximum. Greninja actually does not reset your stats for the rest of the battle. So once it does it that first time, from my experience, it does not do it again for the entire battle. Right there, what it did was it removed the negative effects from itself, which it didn't have any. So anyways, yeah, I think we're about to break. Knock on wood here, I've gotten really lucky with my stored powers. I've hit every single one of them so far, and I'm not even holding Zoom Lens, I'm holding Covert Cloak. So anyways, yeah, so now once he gets low enough, I think once you break the shield, he will double team again, which will obviously make it a lot harder to hit him. I've even considered running, now I finally miss. But like I said, at this point, I think just about 2 stored powers should knock him out, as long as I hit those. There's one. Yeah, perfect. So what was I saying? And he does double team it a 3rd time, which is pretty scary. I forgot what I was saying, if I'm being honest, but yeah, so he's just not doing that much damage to me. This is actually an easy one. If I'm being honest, like I said, I've had basically a 100% success rate with this strategy. And honestly, even though it's been decently easy for me, this so far has been the quickest one for me. Oh my god, he got a crit with Gunk Shot. Okay, I'm going to have to heal now just in case. Oh, actually, I don't need to heal because he's actually just dumb. I could still heal because if he gets another crit, that's going to be a little too much for me to handle, but we'll see how this goes. Oh yeah, I was going to say, I was considering even, okay. I was considering even going Terra Psychic. Oh no, he's just firing them off now. I'm going to have to heal here just to be safe. Ooh, that did like not bad damage. But my teammate got the Intimidate off again. I was considering going Terra Psychic on Vaporeon because once you're at like +6 defense, you're not worried about Night Slash anyway. So even though by going Terra Psychic, you are weak to Night Slash, I don't think it really matters. And plus you will still have Water Absorb, so he still cannot hit you with Hydro Pump. And then of course, Terra Psychic will boost your stored powers power. But either way, as long as we get one more hit on him, the game is over. We just have to land that hit. There we go. Thank you, Vaporeon. I love my Vaporeon. Yeah. So there you go. That's a strategy. And with Slowbro, it's basically the same thing. You basically just, if you want to do it this way, you just don't do anything turn 1. And then, you just don't do anything until Greninja resets the stats. And then you start setting up, in Slowbro's case, Iron Defenses once Greninja resets its stats. You probably set up a couple Iron Defenses, and then Greninja will start hitting you with Hydro Pump. And like I said, even though Slowbro resists it, it's still going to take some decent damage. So after that, I would say you want to maybe switch to setting up a couple Calm Minds to take those better. And then just basically get to the point where you've set up 3 Iron Defenses and then 4 to 6 Calm Minds. And then after that, use Slack Off when needed if you're using Slowbro, and then spam stored power once you're good to go. With Slowbro, again, if you want, or even with Vaporeon, with either of these Pokemon, you can use the Zoom Lens item just to make sure you're hitting those stored powers more consistently. But once again, Covert Cloak is another solid option because if you get poisoned with Gunk Shot, that can really be annoying. That can kind of add a wrench in the plan. So either of those items, either of those Pokemon. Again, there's a lot of different strategies for soloing the Greninja raid that you'll probably see online, but this one was just funny because you just literally sit there for the first like 20 or 30 seconds and it works every time. So anyways, yeah, that was a lot of fun. That is my strategy for taking down Greninja solo. I did recommend Vaporeon in my previous video, and yeah, I'm happy that Vaporeon ended up working really well. It's funny though that Slowbro, the Pokemon that everyone was using to take down Cinderace, also is really good at taking down Greninja. And then Klefki, I did try with Klefki, and honestly, I lost that raid, but it's funny because I got really close. I ended up losing because of the timer. I was really close. I was one shot away from killing Greninja, and I actually used Recycle with Citrus Berry, which is pretty interesting. So you could do the same strategy with Klefki where you wait until Greninja resets stats and then go ahead and start setting up Calm Minds or Iron Defenses. I think with Klefki you would want to set up Calm Minds first because Greninja will start by hitting you with Hydro Pump. And so just start setting up Calm Minds first and then, you know, Iron Defenses when you can. And then whenever you get your Citrus Berry eaten, you can use Recycle with priority and then eat your Citrus Berry again and again. So you kind of have a little bit of recovery with priority with Klefki, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, that's my strategy. I hope you enjoyed. If this video helped you out, please leave a like and subscribe for more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet videos. The Greninja raids will end at the end of the weekend, I believe. However, if you do not connect your game to the internet, you can continuously do these raids over and over again, even beyond the point where they end. So once these raids end officially, you can just not connect your game to the internet and you're still going to be able to do these Greninja raids as much as you want. And they actually give really good rewards. They actually give a lot of Experience XL candies, so you can just farm those and, you know, help yourself raise Pokemon. And they also give a lot of Carbos, which is cool for EV training speed. Finally, this Greninja raid will return, I believe, in a couple weeks in February. So if you miss it this time around, or maybe you could do a lot of farming here and then eventually, you know, it ends, it will come back pretty soon. So the strategy will remain intact for a few more go-arounds. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, please subscribe. Please comment below how the raids have been going for you. And what ball did you catch Greninja in? Talk to you next time. Oh yeah, I caught Greninja in a Dream Ball because this is actually the first game where you can catch Greninja in a Dream Ball. So I was excited about that. And I like the color scheme. It kind of matches with its tongue, so it's kind of color coordinated. Anyways, yeah.